Hello students, welcome to Digital Lecture. I am Sulekha Mattoo, PGT in Political Science. Today we are going to study chapter Legislature. In this chapter, you will study how elected legislatures function and help in maintaining democratic government. You will also learn about the composition and functions of the parliament in India. So let us begin. In this video, we have covered the topics. Number one, why do we need parliament? Two houses of parliament, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, powers of Rajya Sabha versus Lok Sabha, functions of parliament, how a bill becomes an act, how does Parliament control the executive? How does Parliament regulate itself? So now, in this slide, we will discuss why do we need a Parliament? Parliament is the final authority for making new laws. Lawmaking is not only the function of the legislature, it is the center of all democratic political process. It witnesses different actions like walkouts, protests, demonstrations, concerns, and cooperation. Legislature helps people in holding the representatives accountable, which is the foundation of representative democracy. It is the open form of debate. In this slide, we will discuss why we need two houses of parliament. Countries with large size and much diversity usually prefers to have two houses of the national legislature to give representation to all sections in the society. A bicameral legislature makes possible to have every decision reconsidered. The Rajya Sabha gives representation to different states. Every policy and bill is discussed twice. The term parliament refers to national legislature. The legislature of the state is described as state legislature. The parliament in India has two houses, and that is why it is called bicameral legislature. In this slide, we will discuss Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha represents the states of India. It is an indirectly elected body. Members of Rajya Sabha are elected for 6 years. It is never dissolved completely, thus it is called as the permanent house. Rajya Sabha has also 12 nominated members. 12 nominated members are nominated by President of India. He has to decide that they have excellence in the field of art, literature, science, and social service. In this slide, we will discuss Lok Sabha. Members of Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. Entirely country is divided into constituencies. One representative is elected from each constituency. At present, there are 543 constituencies in India. Lok Sabha is elected for a term of 5 years. Now, in this slide, we will compare the powers of the Rajya Sabha with the powers of the Lok Sabha. First, powers of Lok Sabha. Makes laws on matters included in union list and concurrent list. That means all the subjects which are included in union list and concurrent list, they are under the Lok Sabha. Considers and approves non-money bills and suggests amendments to money bills. Approves proposal of taxation, budget and annual financial statements. Approves constitutional amendments. Controls the executive by asking questions, resolutions and motions through no confidence motion. Rajya Sabha exercises control over executives by asking questions, introducing motions and resolutions. Lok Sabha elects the President, Vice President, removes judges of Supreme Court and High Court. And same way Rajya Sabha participates in election and removal of President, Vice President, judges of Supreme Court and High Court. It can alone initiate procedure of removal of Vice President because Vice President is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. So this power rests only with the Rajya Sabha and not with the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha establishes committees and commissions and considers their reports. Rajya Sabha can give the Union Parliament power to make laws on matters included in the state list. We know that Rajya Sabha represents the states. All the members of the Rajya Sabha are directly elected by the members of the legislative assemblies. So only Rajya Sabha can make laws on matters included the state list. Now, in this slide, we will discuss functions of Parliament. First function is legislative function. Second function is control of executive. Third function is financial function. Fourth function is debating function. Fifth function is constituent function. And sixth function is electoral function. And seventh function is judicial function. Now we will discuss each and every function one by one. Firstly, we will discuss legislative function of Parliament. The Parliament enacts laws for the country. It makes laws on the subjects included in the Union list. It can make laws on the subjects included in the state list under special circumstances. Control of executive. The Council of Ministers is responsible to Parliament, that is Lok Sabha. The Parliament controls executive through different ways, that is deliberation and discussion, no confidence motion, financial control. Another function is financial function. Parliament passes the budget, that is annual statement of income and expenditure of the government. The executive cannot spend any money without the approval of the Parliament, who ensures that the government does not misspend or overspend. Another function is debating function. The Parliament is the highest forum of debate in the country. There is no limitations on its power of discussion. Members are free to speak on any matter without fear. Discussions are held during the question hour, 0 hour and half an hour discussion period. Another function is constituent function. The Parliament has the power to amend the Constitution. Most of the amendments have to be approved by a special majority of both houses, that is by 2/3 majority of members present and voting and simple majority of total members of the house. Another function is electoral function. The members of parliament take part in the election of the president and vice president of India. And last function is judicial function. The parliament considers the proposal for removal of president, vice president, judges of High Court and Supreme Court, and chief election commissioner. Now, in this slide, now we are going to discuss how a bill becomes an act. This is very important function of parliament, and after going this slide, you will actually know now how the laws are made in our country. There are different stages in parliament of making the laws. Number 1, need for introduction. Number 2, approval of the cabinet. Number 3, preparation of the bill. Number 4, introduction of the bill. Number 5, committee stage. Number 6, report stage. Number 7, second stage. Number 8, third stage. And number 9, in other house. And last and very important function, that is the president's assent. Now, each and every stage we will discuss one by one. Need for introduction. The need for introduction a bill is felt to fulfill an election promise or aspiration of the people. The interest groups, media may also put pressure on the government to introduce and pass a particular bill. Another stage, that is approval of the cabinet. The need for the bill is discussed in the party or with alliance partners. Thereafter, the matter comes up in the cabinet which approves it. And third stage of the bill is preparation of the bill. In this stage, the bill is prepared by the law ministry as per guidelines of the concerned minister. Another stage is introduction of bill. The bill is introduced in the parliament by minister at the appointed time. A money bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha only. Another stage is committee stage. The bill is discussed or it is sent to a committee where it is examined minutely. The committee prepares a report and, if necessary, makes changes in the bill. Another stage is report stage. Committee gives its report, which is examined and discussed in the House, which may or may not accept it. Another is second reading or stage. In this stage, the report of the committee, a detailed discussion takes place in the House. Every clause of the bill is examined. Amendments are proposed and accepted wherever necessary. The bill is given its final shape. Then, third reading of the bill. A bill in its final form is passed or rejected. Generally, no bill is rejected at this stage. Then, other house. Once a bill is passed on one house, it is sent to the other house. That means, if the bill is originated first in the Lok Sabha, then it is sent to the Rajya Sabha. If the bill is originated in the Rajya Sabha first, then it is sent to the Lok Sabha. President's assent. After President's assent, the bill becomes a law. That means when the bill is passed from one house to another house, after that the bill is sent to the President for the assent. When President gives his assent on the bill, then a bill becomes a law. I think now it is very clear to you that how the laws are made in our country. And this is very, very beautiful stage and transparent stage where we are making the laws in a very transparent manner in the Parliament of India. In this slide, we will discuss how does Parliament control executive. There are various ways how Parliament control the executive. Number one, deliberation and discussion. Number two, approval or refusal of laws. Number three, financial control. And number four, no confidence motion. Now we will discuss each and every instrument of the Parliament through which they control the executive one by one. Number first, deliberations and discussion. Members of the Parliament get opportunity of discussion on various occasions such as law-making process, question hour, 0 hour, half an hour discussion on matters of public importance, adjournment motion. Members criticize the government and represent the problem of their constituencies. Another instrument is approval or refusal of laws. The approval of the Parliament is necessary for the passage of the bill. No doubt the executive enjoys the support of the majority party, but on various occasions it becomes difficult for the government to get a bill passed, particularly when it did not have majority support in the Rajya Sabha. This leads to bargaining and negotiations with the opposition members and even with their own members. Another way of controlling the Parliament is financial control. Parliament passes the budget. The executive cannot spend any money without the approval of the Parliament. Lok Sabha can inquire into cases of misuse of funds on the basis of the report of Auditor General and Public Accounts Committee. Last instrument through which Parliament control executive is no confidence motion. The government may remain in power as long as it enjoys the support of the majority in the Lok Sabha. The government is forced to resign due to lack of confidence of the House. Several governments had resigned due to lack of confidence since 1989. This shows the effectiveness of the no confidence motion in the Lok Sabha. Thus, Parliament can effectively control the executive and make it a responsible government. Now, in this slide, we will discuss how does Parliament regulate itself. The presiding officer of the legislature regulates the business of legislature. It is wholly and solely the responsibility of the presiding officer to control the business of the legislature. And secondly, the presiding officer of the House takes final decisions. It is the presiding officer of the House, whether it is the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, the final decision is taken by the presiding officer of the House. So these are the different ways through which we can regulate Parliament in India. I hope this video lecture will help you to understand the importance of the legislature, the functions and powers of the Parliament of India, the law-making procedure, how the Parliament control the executive, and how the Parliament regulate itself. Thank you.